All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. My good friend Nan Akasha is back with us today, and we are going to be talking about the sacred feminine flow of abundance. And Nan's going to be doing some live abundance soul readings today as well on the show. And she's going to share how the field of abundance and the flow of abundant energies has shifted and how to align yourself with the new sacred feminine flow of abundance. And so we're going to talk about the energies of manifestation, how they have changed, and you're going to receive the 3 top abundance energies to attune to, as well as insights and cleansing to your light body so you can align with the field of abundance. And right now, I know that a lot of people are asking about abundance and wondering, where is it? Especially when, with everything going on with COVID, a lot of people don't have as much income as they used to. For those of you who don't know, Nan was on our show last year in September, I think it was, and we had a wonderful, wonderful conversation, a wonderful show. Oh my goodness, her readings were like so spot on. It was amazing. I loved it. It was so much fun. And today she's back, and she has an uncanny ability to see right to the core of your challenge. According to some of her clients, she is a 7-time #1 best-selling author and popular speaker. Nan is like Abraham Hicks on steroids. I love that. And she's the founder of the Bliss Life Foundation, LightBody Mystery School, and a 30-year energy healer, spiritual teacher, and master hypnotherapist. Nan has created over 166 online programs. It's like, oh my goodness. So she's here sharing her time, energy, talents, and gifts with us today to talk again about sacred feminine flow of abundance and doing some live abundance soul reading. So Nan, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much. Me too. I've been really excited about this. I've been thinking about you. I've been sending you lots of love, and I appreciate all of us, everything we're going through collectively and in our own experiences and our own lives, and everything up to this moment. What I've been seeing is that everything we've done, all the pain, all the abuse, all the loss, all the failure, all the fear, this life or any other life in our soul, it's at a culmination point. So I really look at the really challenging things that we're experiencing as huge opportunities. And I know that you and probably everybody on here has had that opportunity this last year. And I want to thank all of you and just be a part of this collective, right? Just be a part of knowing that there's support and love right there. You can just reach out. You could reach out and you could feel Donnie, you can feel Laura, you can know that your higher self is there, and that I just want to, I think on behalf of everyone here, shower you with some love, Alara, and thank you for who you are, who you're continuing to be, and what you're going through. And I know that you're shining a beautiful light on everyone that you're meeting through your experience. So thank you, honey.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. And it's been wonderful. Like I've said this before, but I'll say it again, that the amount of support and love that my community, my clients, my colleagues have shared with me, people that I haven't talked to in years, it has just been mind-blowing. I was like, oh my God, I was not expecting it. And so that has really held me and carried me, through this time. Yeah. So yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and all of us are getting our breakdowns, but the beauty inside of it is quite stunning. So that's the part that we want to stay in, that feminine flow, because we'll find the gifts or the diamonds, my daughter told me, inside of whatever it is we're experiencing. So.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like we do have to, like, we're going to go through challenges. We're going to go through experiences that we weren't expecting. But through everything, there are gifts, there are blessings, there are, diamonds, there's golden nuggets, it's like so much. So that's why I never regret anything. I appreciate everything, because I see the gift in it. I see the lesson in it. I got it, guys. I got it. So I don't have to do it again. So I got it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, and I think, I spent a lot of my early years on my spiritual search for peace from the pain that had happened in my life. Right. That's usually our inspiration. Yeah. Just wanting peace. and thinking that if I did it right, applying my old masculine principles and conditioning, right, make it happen and push and work hard and more hours and be better and learn and do this and burn it at both ends and be the superwoman. What was that thing they used to have? You can bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan and be the sexy woman and la 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 la. Oh, good. Let's add more stress to what women think they need to be, right?
Yeah.
And I think we appreciated the let's be strong image. We can do it. We can do shit we've been told we can't do for a long time. And yet that idea, I know it hurt me. It overwhelmed me that why can't I be all those things? I got to be all those things. And so, yeah, when we come into this moment, I know I'm old now, but I also have been through so many things that it drove me every time to seek a new solution. So when my daughter died and when I went through a 3-year divorce and lost everything, 80 houses and went into bankruptcy, when my first company closed at the end of the 80s, when everyone bankrupted and nobody paid you. And I didn't know people didn't pay their bills. I literally was so innocent. Like that and many other things, like everybody's had here, right? These moments of fear and pain and deconstruction of who you thought you were, what you were told you should be, or you could be, or you need to be good enough. And those things, when we take them on so deeply, they drain us because we're carrying a burden instead of using our feminine flow, our feminine energy, our feminine principle, as well as our masculine to flow and to create from. But it's one of those things where I had to surrender the idea that if I did it right by learning more and pushing harder, then I would get all the goodies, right? Then I would succeed, then I'd be at the top, I'd reach the goal, I'd be the MVP, I would, I'm done, I did it. And then you expect it to stay the same. And then things change. Suddenly we've seen this last year, suddenly businesses that were doing well crashed and businesses that didn't exist are booming and other business, the business doesn't go away. It shifts channels, right? The money didn't go away. The jobs didn't go away. New ones are birthing, it's an opportunity. So, but that idea of being in the flow and realizing and maturing, I've been saying for a few years that I think that we're beginning to spiritually mature, right? To go from the new age where we started to understand positive thinking, but we thought that that was the solution to everything and it would happen tomorrow. Right?
Nope.
And then we get upset. We wouldn't say any pain we had because we think, oh, if I say it at all, I'm going to manifest it, which again is nonsense. If you sustain that fear and hold on to it for 9 or 10 years or your whole life or 10 lifetimes, then yeah, you're going to manifest a lot of it. But if you accept it and bring it up and you look at it and you walk into it, inside of the problem is a solution. There's never a solution that is born from nothing. Right? Even if it's just like, I want to make a painting, that's your quote unquote challenge or problem. And then it's birthed through you, the solution, the light at the end of the tunnel. So everything we're going through and it really, it's a difficult concept. It's one of those things that has a razor's edge because this is in no way to say, it's your fault that it's happening to you because you had these energies. This is bad things happening to you. Too bad for you. This is crap, right? This nonsense. We're not here to be punished. We're not here on an endless wheel of karma that is torturing us, although it feels like that way sometimes. It's literally whatever, to me, what I've learned is whatever is being laid on our plate, so to speak, right in our face, right, is what our higher self is saying, look at this right now. This is what we need you for right now. This is shifting. This is going to be changing, or this needs to go, or this needs to come into your life, right? And so being in the present moment rather than worrying about what we did and carrying that burden or constantly planning or worrying about tomorrow or how am I going to do this? It feels like if we don't do that, everything will fall apart. And many of our clients think that way. So shifting more into your feminine, we're not talking about going all the way into your feminine, which is fabulous, but then we wouldn't build anything. We'd all lay around going, oh, I had the greatest meditation, hand me some cacao, But bringing more feminine flow in really matured me. And I've been being told by my higher self for well over 15 years that when I would really get in the deep place and I'd say, what is my most important focus? My mind thought it was doing this and this and this and this and achieving that and that and that and that, and applying my masculine do it to my spirituality. And over here it was be more in your feminine. And I'd be, what? I'm feminine. Look, I wear makeup. I have jewelry. I'm feminine. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to slow down for that shit. Right? I want to go. And but actually, I think you do just reach some things that break you open so wide that you reach a whole new level. It's a quantum leap, right, for your spirituality. I remember the first time I went for ayahuasca ceremony, this lady across from me was just like fussing and fidgeting and also nervous. And I thought, wow, she must be new too. And she's like, oh no, I've done this like 55 times. And I'm like, what? Well, what? Why are you scared? Oh shit.
Yeah.
I have my own fears coming into this, but what? And she's like, oh, call it madre, the ayahuasca. The madre, oh, she really, really works me hard. And I go, what do you mean? Oh, she makes me move or this and that. It's kind of stressful. And I go, well, then why do you come back?
55 times. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And she says, oh my God, the quantum leap in my life is so worth it. It's so worth it, whether it's spiritually or materially or financially or in relationships. She always has like a massive breakthrough. And I think that's true for any really challenging experience that we have.
Absolutely. But and that's the thing, it's like, yes, we have all these challenging experiences. We're all like you all in the US are going through some massive changes right now. This week is going to be tough for some of you, I know. But the thing is, it's like, even with the challenges, there's always a lesson, there's always a gift, there's always a blessing, there's always a teaching, there's always a wisdom that's available to you. But we don't always see it because we're stuck in the gunk of the whatever's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And energetically, so I see energies, and what I see when I look at the planet, like from far away, is this like layer of brown haze, like a pollution on the planet around her. And it's fear. It's just this massive amount of collective conscious fear that is built up over, some people say 400 years, but I would say thousands of years. And most especially in an accelerated way, the more we left the divine feminine, the cultures that pass down the name by the mother, because to be honest, how do you know without a DNA test who is the real parent? You don't. So they always use the mother's name to pass your name down because that's the only way you knew who you were from. They changed, all the things and took away, stripped women and the sacred feminine and healing and everything, whether it was witch hunts, whether it was, women being possessions that had no rights, right? No, you can't vote, you can't drive. I watched this mystery show called Miss Fisher, and she's this really sassy lady in the 20s.
I watched that too. I enjoyed it.
It's so fun, right?
Yeah.
And there was this episode where she had an adventure club of women, which was pretty racy back then, and they were entering a woman driver in a auto race, and that wasn't allowed, right? Yeah. And the guy who ran it actually was running for parliament and said, well, when I get elected, one of the first things I'm going to do is pass a law that says women are not allowed to drive alone. They have to have a licensed man in the car with them. Right? Like, to me, right? Like, I'm like, what? Oh my God. And there's a lot of issues like that come up in that show that they weave into the good mysteries, that you realize the difference in the way that the feminine is looked at. But the biggest thing, I think, is disrespect, thinking it's weak, thinking that if we're not being strong, and we've had to be honest, right? We've had to be in that. So to me, I love goddess work. Many years ago, after my daughter died, I found a goddess group of women that were the most nurturing, most loving women. It was like being taken into a womb and just being pampered and nurtured and loved. And I needed it so much.
Mhm.
And I had never experienced that before, when we'd get together once a month and we'd do little things together. It was just beauty and presence and nature and I really was surprised at the power inside of it, that we could embrace these intuitive skills and respect them just as much as our skills of intellect or achievement or physical ability or awards on the wall, right? The masculine energy things, but that we could see it, and that you could stand and be not necessarily feminine. It doesn't matter what you wear, what we think in, but in the flow
Mhm.
of the energies, listening to your intuition. Like, how many times have any of us said, gosh, I had that feeling?
Yeah.
I had that feeling, but you were in a business situation or a job situation, right? Where you had to have the focus and be in your brain and your mind and calculating and analyzing. And that's all great. But believe me, we're like overtrained. We've all been in school way too long for living that way. And I've actually started to see that the energies are shifting since we've passed through the solstice timeline split and then the new year. And this week we have 2021, 21
Mhm.
on Thursday. But that those energies are going to start to work against us. So the longer that we hold on to doing things, worrying about money, trying to make money, trying to push and force ourselves, exhaust ourselves, sacrifice ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, we have to unhook from the obligations we think we
Mhm.
have to everybody but ourselves.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we've been told that's selfish, but actually it's ridiculous, because if you think about a plant, you wouldn't plant a seed and then say, you're no good and you're never going to be good enough, and all the things you think about yourself, right? And you better work harder and other da, and you barely feed it and whatever, and you expect it to grow and flourish and be beautiful. And then you get mad at it for not doing that, right? It's kind of what we do to ourselves. So we don't provide the nurturing and the nourishment and the time for ourselves. Like going, I reserved my beach time today to be before the call.
Mhm.
Instead of in the morning or sometimes at sunset, specifically so because I activate my light body and I heart to heart connect to Gaia and to all the elementals and the mermaids and the dolphins out there, and just do a lot of beautiful work, receive a lot of really nice messages and everything. And that's something that's become something I don't allow to get overrun by a schedule. I
Mhm.
used to be like, oh no, this is more important, this is more important, this is more important, I'll get to me later, right?
So
So
later, later's here. Later's here now.
it's just now. It's just now. If you're not fully present now, if you're not tapped into your full powers now, which means if you're not literally allowing both the masculine and feminine principles, the above and below, the material and spiritual, all of
Mhm.
that duality, polarity to be present within you, you're out of balance. The whole planet is out of balance. That's why we're rebalancing. And we're liquefying, we're metamorphosizing the old. So when we do that for ourselves, for our identity, so we were talking like loss this year, and I know this is a tender subject, so please don't get upset with me. But if you've had something leave your life, look at it as a blessing and go looking for the diamonds in there,
Mhm.
because there's a whole new understanding, there's a whole new wisdom, there's a whole new strength, there's a whole new something in there for you that will be so powerful. But that does not delete the fact that it's painful when you go through, someone dies or someone gets sick or you lose money or whatever it is. So you have to honor both sides. Again,
Yeah.
balancing, nurture that. Say, yes, I deserve to get in bed with some, yummy fuzzy blankets and not talk to anybody for 3 days because this happened. If that's what makes you feel better, but you don't stay there in depression,
Mhm.
right? But you don't bully yourself forward. And the biggest thing I think I found about becoming that mature spiritual container where you're willing to accept your feminine and your masculine to flow through all the parts of you, And that means we have to accept ourselves. We have to love ourselves. We have to think we're good enough. And we have to say, hey, I'm going to be me, as weird as I am, regardless of what anybody else thinks, because that's why I came here. I'm
Mhm.
designed that way. That's the flow path, right? And then we marry that, we marry the two together. Now you can create. But if you look at it energetically, you start to understand why we struggle so much. We obviously have the vows and beliefs and obligations and attachments and programs and patterns that are embedded in our light body that say you're not good enough or don't speak up or fear of criticism and all the rest of it. Everybody
Yeah,
has it. Believe me, I see it every day. So,
yeah, yeah.
but underneath it, inside of it, what it is, if it's sitting there in front of you and you feel guilty all the time, so you don't have the energy and you don't feel good enough about yourself to go do what you want, look at the guilt. Stop trying to get to something over the guilt pile and then bully yourself into working harder and thinking you're going to make everything happen through your mind and your physical hard work. I'm from the Midwest, so I was programmed that the harder you work and the more you suffer, the better person you were. And you certainly weren't going to get any approval if you weren't practically half dead from
Mhm.
whatever you were doing. Then it was like, good for you, good for you. Moving on, you know. So there's not wasn't a lot of nurturing. There was love, but there wasn't the nurtury, lovey-dovey, touchy stuff I like,
Yeah, yeah.
um, that I did for my kids. But
Same.
it not right. One's not better than the other. It's preference. But when you can relax into receiving who you're meant to be, you can let go a lot of those rules. It makes it easier. It flows. Right. So abundance is something that is simply a belief, which is an agreement that creates an energetic structure. What does that mean? You have neural pathways in your brain. They're your habits, right? You could drive home, you could wash your hands without thinking or watching what you're doing practically, right? Because
Yeah.
you've done it, you have a neural pathway in your brain. It's a pattern, right? It's a grid. So we have the same thing in our light body, in our mental field, in our emotional field, and in all these other energy structures that are around us. And so when it's hard to let go of a belief and you're trying to make something happen, and sometimes you achieve it, you lose weight, but then you gain it back, or you make a lot of money, but then later you lose it all, or whatever, right? You have the ups and downs in life. We think it's bad. Well, I used to do the same thing. I thought if I'm doing it right and if I'm good enough, and then the proof will be that I'm successful all the time, that I'm happy all the time, and I'm big, perfect, and skinny, and everything's perfect all the time. And it not only does that make me just laugh my ass off now at myself, but it was the beginning of understanding energy and creation. And all we'd been told was you should want these things. This will make you good enough. This will make you happy. So we're like, okay, right? And now we're opening, the sacred feminine's coming in, the age of Aquarius is coming in, the expanded, more mental energies, meaning like caring about the collective and seeing the oneness is coming into everyone, regardless of whether they want it or not. But we've seen the beginnings of more feminine flow. So abundance means you have to accept that there's flow. Like I've been in business, I've built businesses, wow, for I don't know, 35 years or something like that, and many of them very, very, very successful money wise. And every single one of them was built with energy that came from fear and desperation, wanting to be good enough and overachieving. And the energy you put into building something is the energy that lives with, right? That's like you put it in the building and now it's vibrating there. And when we instead let it come from within, because it isn't on our schedule, which is the hardest part I found. But when it births through me, like right now I'm doing something called the Goddess Sanctuary, and I've been working with goddess energies for a long time and gone to different things, and every year I used to go to one festival and all this stuff. And yet this kept calling last year, the sacred feminine, the divine feminine. It needs a focus, it needs a focal point, it needs a place. So then but I let it keep talking to me until I know for sure this is the thing that wants to be brought into form right now, instead of forcing my agenda. So that's a lot of abundance. Means you can't, we're trying to create with one hand behind our back. A lot of times we're trying to create by running up against a lot of our fears and beliefs about lack, and ourself and lack of being good enough and everything else. And we're running into the challenges that the whole world is having with the breakdown in our systems that have to happen, and no certainty whatsoever of where we're going. And that's a big part of abundance, is being the creator, right? So
Yeah.
we're not used to being allowed to be the creator. We've been following all the rules. Now it's like, well, the world is sort of like this.
But
Who am I going to
I
be?
think that brings in the fear. Like a lot of people will say, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to create. I don't know what I want.
Good. Then I would say congratulations. Like when someone says my whole life is falling apart or I just lost my job, I'll say congratulations. I'm not being sarcastic. I know that means that you are in a metamorphosis. You're in a big change. You're in a leap in your life. And these happen in ways we never know how. And yet that if it's happening, it's what's optimal for you at this time. It means your higher self is doing its best to communicate with you. And if we've missed some of the clues and we get the 2x4, it's not because we're stupid. It's just because whatever is optimal in this moment, that's how it's going to open up. That's why I say, look at the thing in front of you. So the I don't know how, I need to know. When I know, I'll do it. When I have the money, I'll say I'll yes to this, when that. That's all crap. We have to let that go because it's ridiculous. First of all, if you get out of 3D mindset into fifth and eighth dimension or whatever, just go to a higher state, okay? Go to acceptance or harmony or someplace where you can see above the drama and the fear that we're all embedded in right now. Is you don't ask questions like, I don't know. You're present in the moment, looking around at this phenomenal abundance going, wow, what is it I would love to play with now? And then you open yourself up for things to flow to you instead of thinking you have to find it and make it and do a plan for it. Because when you reach acceptance and above state wise, you start to be in the abundant field. You're in harmony. You transcend the fears and dramas. It's still happening. You might still be having physical pain. You might still be having grief over the loss of someone or something or a job. It doesn't mean that that's not happening at this level, but you're starting to live up here too. Now you're living above and below. Now you're in the feminine principle and the masculine principle, and they're allowed to flow together to manifest. But like I said, we're out of balance. So wanting to know is the masculine. Wanting to know is the conditioning we've had. Wanting to know is so we can tell our parents, quote unquote, right? Or the authority figure in our life, oh, I have a plan and this is why I did it, and validate who we are and what we're doing. We were taught that. It's okay. But now you're being set free. And part of the scary part for people is like a metamorphosis. We're losing our form. We're losing our identity. We're losing our normal way of working or going to school or functioning as a family or buying food or whatever. We can't travel around the world anytime we want, go to any country we want right now. This very different landscape that we're in. And it's a metamorphosized landscape. So we're not going to navigate through by bringing in the troops, bombing everything and marching, because the landscape is too fluid now. The energies are moving too fast. The minute we think something, it manifests. The minute we let go of something, it let go. And then we go into fear, buyer's remorse, and we go, wait a minute, I'm not sure I wanted to let that go. So the going through the ups and downs, that's being on the planet. That's being informed. When you're in form, you're in a limited body. This is your car that Gaia made for you, and you came and got in it. And your higher self and your I am presence and even your body elemental and all the other parts of you, they've got your back. They know all the reasons you're here. They've got all the plans and all the blueprints. They know they can access everything, but you're the person, the deep diver down below with the crew around you. And your purpose is to be here focused in the moment. So when you're fully here in the moment, you're not going to be, let's go take action. I mean, I went through forcing myself to sit down during my divorce as everything was just flowing out of my life faster than I could even imagine. And I didn't know how I was going to feed my kids. It was just like horror show. And I would get like in a panic. Oh my God, I gotta go do something. I have to make something happen. What do I do? I'll go get in the car and I'll do this. And I got to where I forced myself to sit down in my massage chair. Thank God for that thing. And for like, I think 15 minutes, I would do a chant And I would meditate or whatever and
Mhm.
breathe. And I would make myself, I didn't take any action from that state of fear or desperation. So I want to know, I need to know, what are you attached to? Look for the energy attachment. That is what is keeping you stuck. And so somebody said, like, well, it seems like more problems and challenges are coming faster. Yes, we're speeding up. Look at the video culture. Look how you can watch a movie. You don't need to see the person driving and walking and ringing the doorbell. You just go there, right?
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
know that. We can process really quickly. Well, once we get into a full, we actually allow the feminine energy, the divine sacred feminine principle to flow. We open our 8 original cells. We get the flow through all our chakras. We start to nurture ourselves in our schedule and our lifestyle. On both sides can start being strong and co-creating. You're going to have less panic because you're in the flow.
Mhm.
You, when you access your intuitive feminine sacred energies, it means that you trust and spend the respect and energy, I guess, of your intuitive gifts, your asking. I talk to my guides, I talk to my crystals, I talk to my plants, I talk to the beach, I'm talking to my higher self, I'm talking to things all day long. um, but it's not because I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to do, what do you think? I'm just like, blessings and thank you. And then sometimes something goes, oh hey, I want to be with you, I want to be next to you during your call right now. Okay. But the energy of knowing that there are more dimensions outside of my body than inside, that this physical, I need to know, is getting in the way.
Mhm.
Okay. Because your need to know is blocking you from what all the information and the infinite solutions that are already right here. Seriously, seriously, seriously. I even used to take my clients who wanted to manifest money and fix their money fears and stuff. I'd have them actually look for the money in the room that they're in. Okay. So you can think about that any way you want, but we're talking energetically. All right. So when you expand out, you mean just look in the cupboards and the drawers, but what if there's no money there? When I need $10,000, what am I going to do? Probably isn't $10,000 in cash in the room right now. I guess you could shift timelines if you're really good at that. Not many people are, right? Oh, I want to be in the room when there's $10,000 cash in that drawer. But most of my clients have to go into the other realms. They have to start thinking, and then they have to let go of thinking and rise into listening and sensing and awakening more of your 360 senses, so that suddenly you start to flow. Oh, that's right. I should write that down. Oh, yeah. Or I'm just going to write down 10 things that come out of my hand and not even look at it till later. Right. So getting in the flow, 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 flow. Everything's about flow, because masculine is very restrictive. It's very focused. It's very great for building things, and you need to bring it in when you're ready to manifest. But abundance, especially right now, it's masculine energy is going to work against you. So you're going to get exhausted from overanalysis, needing to know, wanting a plan. Now, that doesn't mean you do nothing and sit around and wait for it to show up at the door, right? It means that you listen more, or as much as you do. How you listen, if you meditate, if you free flow write, if you cruise around on the internet looking at stuff. When I was going to start the Goddess Sanctuary, I was like, okay, I agree. I'll create this. But who? There's a gazillion goddesses, and all these ones that I work with every day, I don't want to just pick them because they happen to be my guides at this time. And so I would just go on and put in different names and just cruise around, and I found ones I'd never heard of, being in the flow, looking, talking, thinking, writing, creative things. This balances you and nurtures you. And then foods and drinks, and cacao is what they make chocolate out of. That if you get organic powdered cacao, you can mix it with hot water and have hot chocolate and put a little stevia in it, so there's no sugar. We put coconut oil in ours, and I put ginger and other stuff. But that replenishes your serotonin. Well, not only is serotonin your happy hormone, but your chakras have to be operating in unison, talking to each other, which is flow. Okay, in order for all the glands to function properly. And most of your serotonin is made in your gut. 90%, not your pineal. So this replenishes it. And if you do spiritual work or if you do healing work, you burn through your serotonin very quickly. So when I'm doing this kind of work or healing work or clients, creative work, I have at least 2 cups, there's a little bit left in there, of cacao. And I know that I'm replenishing it because it's also what you need to counteract cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which everybody has a lot of, especially right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's another way to nurture yourself, right? Especially right now. That's something you can do and savor it. Okay. Enjoy your pleasures and give yourself permission to have. We can't be held back by what others think. We can't be held back by fear of what someone will say, being criticized, burned at the stake, or beheaded. Whatever it is.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Those are all the same energy, believe it or not, when it's a program within you and it blocks you from getting into your flow. Because when you're in your flow, you get in the moment and that on alert, I need to know what's happening at every moment. And I watch the news and blah, 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 is that masculine energy that's over, right? Over torqued up. And so there's that fear like, well, if I take my eye off it, everything will fall apart. Just take it step by step.
So it's also about trusting, right? Trusting in the flow, trusting in the universe, that the universe has your back, right? And trusting that as you are staying present, as you are starting to converse with, communicate with your higher self, your I am presence, your guides, etc., that you always get the answers, but you'll get the answers that you need for the moment, not like 5 years from now, but in the moment, what do you require? So it's also a lot about being present and being in your heart space, being in your body, and not constantly being in your head, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And what happens is that because we're so in our heads, we miss a lot of opportunities. We miss clients that are sitting right next to us. We miss sunsets that would have, filled our body full of healing energies, literally helping to heal whatever out of balance or disease we have. Or there's so much in the moment because it's the only thing. That whole old thing, we have to like literally live that now. This moment is all there is. And when we worry about the future and we stay attached to what happened in the past, we send out energy to all those places. So we're drained and we've got more energy has to come in and go out, and then we're not fully present. But the more we're in the present moment, I call it pulling yourself inside of your pillar of light. You have a pillar of light around you. It's a part of your subtle anatomy, your light body structure. If you just imagine, oh, I'm leaning out, desperate, come here, I need this. Or, oh, I'm leaning out and looking back at myself and judging myself or worrying what this person will think or whatever, then you're not in your space and nobody's driving. Right. So then things get out of balance and out of whack. And then you go down the whatever, I'm not good enough and this and that and this and that. So don't look at things and say, well, look, there's proof. Because then you're looking at it, basically asking for more of it. So that balance of looking up, right? Looking up to the light, leaving the darkness, quote unquote, the fear, guilt, shame, all that stuff, right? Behind you. Don't turn around and look at it. Just let it roll off of you, because we're seeking peace. We're seeking self-love as well as love and approval from outside. But that old thing, we can't attract it or keep it with us very long if we aren't a match for it energetically, if we're not vibrating. So it's always this inside. So we nurture ourselves, you love yourself, you give yourself more time, you carve out the time first for you, regardless. You put your mask on first before you put your kids on, that whole thing. And in every area of your life. And so the flow and the trust, but then the other part of abundance is what are you allowing yourself to open to? I had a really powerful realization myself as I'm working with people and I see their blocks and I see the lives that they're connected to that are still holding these heavy beliefs, and we're changing both now. We're doing timeline shifts and things. But when I see that, and then of course I get to see that and experience that for them, and then I realize, wow, right? And I realize, well, I'm probably having that. And I realized that, yeah, I went through my divorce. It's been 14 years since my separation or something, and about, I don't know, 11 years, 12 years, or I don't know, so 15 years, something. It took 3 years to get divorced, to be divorced. But I lost everything, like everything. And I was kind of older and thought, well, but I did everything I was told to do. I did it all right. And I behaved like a good little girl and followed all the rules. And I didn't need it. And this is what I end up with. What, like it was such disbelief.
Yeah.
And the struggle coming out of it, I know now, had nothing to do with, oh, I have to figure out how to make money or whatever, in a new way. But it was more that inner of not, blaming myself and holding on to, I need to know why did this happen to me? Or why doesn't this person love me? Or why did my mom disown me? Or why this or why that? I need to know. And then it's all built a big tower around me of all this energy that keeps me from wandering around the infinite field, finding the solutions that are perfect. Because believe me, there may not be an infinite number of solutions to a particular issue you have, but there is an infinite number of timelines that you could be living in, right? Experiences, realities. And so I realized that years later, I was still living with very, very stringent, limited mindset, because my mindset went from like this to this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so if you had an experience where you were like, I'm a failure or I lost, and you're afraid to lose again. And so I was like, I don't want to own anything. I don't want to have anything, that I'm never gonna have to go through the pain of losing anything. It's kind of like people who say I'll never love again because, my ex-husband, one of his brothers died when he was 13, and his father never recovered. He just separated from people. Never, he just couldn't handle. He was like, the best thing to do is not be close to anybody. And that's how he lived his whole life out, instead of going into that pain and finding the diamond in it and gaining strength from it. Nobody said it's easy, because we're all on that hero's journey, right? We're going through that.
Yeah, nobody said it's easy, but it's possible. We can get through it. We can, yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. So the last thing about abundance is to be the creator, to literally be the creator, to just finally let go and accept, whether if it's completely abstract or not, that you are the creator of your reality. And that you're programmed with everything, you have everything you need, but you also brought in a lot of fears and beliefs, and you've had all these experiences. You have to stop being attached to what you think they mean, who needs to be blamed for them. Those are attachments.
Yeah.
You got to unhook all those energetic attachments, and then you rise up to where you can be above the drama. You can transcend the judgment of yourself and others. You can see new possibilities. You can taste happiness on a regular basis. You can realize that, oh, the money or the success or the approval or everybody loving me or whatever you thought was required, you put in front of you between you and happiness, right? It doesn't have to be there. So one of the things I realized when I first became a master level hypnotherapist, I realized that people were not allowing themselves to believe they could have what they wanted. And behind that, they didn't even know what they really wanted, because we were so heavily influenced by our culture, our gender, our religion, our upbringing, whatever, to what's okay for us to have. And I can tell you right now that most people don't like happy people. Most people don't like happy people.
Oh, wow.
Most people don't like successful people. So we think, oh my God, look, I worked hard, I succeeded at this, and we tell everybody, and we want them to be happy for us, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a disappointment that they didn't appreciate it and get as excited and approve of it. Some of them don't even say anything.
Yeah.
Because when you actually understand where they're coming from, they see it as an insult to them. Their perception is, yeah, you're better than me, big for, or who are you? Literally have had family members on both sides of relationships who said, who are you? Who are you to be happy? Who are you to get what you want? Why do you think that you get to be happy? I'm not happy. You can't be happy. And this is what lives within, because we've been programmed to turn each other in for being.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because these concepts are like they don't resonate with me at all, so it's hard for me to, I mean, I get it, but maybe people are like that, but like in my reality, oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't see that. I just like, how could people be that way? But I know that's not, it does happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just,
Well, and that's good, right? Because when you're free from this stuff, you're just like flowing and trusting and so I at least right now I know I'm here to be a bridge
mhm,
because I can see that and understand it and help people to free themselves from the pain of all of the judgments and meanings of it and just rise out of it,
mhm,
right? And take the strengths and then come into the moment. So let yourself dream big, but from your heart,
yeah,
not what will make me money. Okay.
yeah.
Don't do anything just to make money, please. The energies are not good. You can make money doing something you love. You can make money in the interim till you get your perfect business doing something else, but you can also enjoy that, right? Don't do things, and then look at it. Ask yourself, okay, write down, what do I really want? What's my biggest desire right now? And you write a couple things down and then ask yourself, do I believe I can have it?
Mhm,
And pay attention to what you think, what you feel, where you feel the energy in your body, because it's going to speak to you. So we have to be excellent receivers, which is feminine, right? The
yeah.
feminine is the receiver. We just did a goddess sanctuary with Gaia, and Gaia, we've taken that Greek name to mean Mother Earth and the Earth and a lot of other things, but the original essence of what it meant is the primordial female feminine principle from source that everything in form is created from.
Mhm,
And so being in that infinite flow and realizing there's so many better solutions than what you have right now, or even if you love what you have right now, that you just open to it and then don't even try to make it, and I have to write down exactly what I want. You can write down what you want. I do recommend that. So if you're looking for a house, you're like, oh, I'd like a 2-story house, or I want it to be on the beach, or I'd love it if it had this kind of living room, or whatever. But don't let it define you and narrow your possibilities. Put it out and then watch it, play with it, allow it, dream, let the inspiration come to you, because the other parts of you know bigger, better things than you could ever come up with
mhm,
that you want, right? So wanting to know, wanting a guarantee, um, not being willing to trust yourself, right? To trust your intuition, to develop your psychic
mhm,
skills, to be at least, I would say, please, at least 35 or 40% of your energy, respect, time is in your feminine side, is allowing you to listen. Take a night to decide or respond to almost anything, and let your feminine flow come in through your dream time to help you see an answer that's beneficial to everyone, because those are, possible in the
mhm.
flow.
Beautiful. Thank you. Wow. We just learned so much about the feminine flow, about abundance, about receiving, about, really creating our lives from that space of empowerment, right? And it's not about the doing and it's not about being in your head, but it is about being in flow. And what does flow mean to you, right? And so a lot of times for me, when I would talk about flow, it's like, well, what does it mean? It means being present. Like just like what Nan just said right now, it's like being present, listening to the thoughts that I get, the inspiration, not necessarily the thoughts from my head, but inspiration that I get that I know are not my regular mental thoughts, but it's something else, right? And actually talking to God, talking to my higher self, talking to spirit, and asking questions, talking, to the I am presence and so on, and asking questions, and then being willing to hear, to get the message. It's not always going to be a big booming voice, like we've always said, but you will get an answer if you ask a question from your heart. If you're just asking from your head, no. But if you're seriously asking something from your heart, you will get an answer. So be willing to hear it, okay, or get it, right? Receive it.
The energy that you're asking it with. So like you said, in your head, or in desperation, or in fear. So I recently did a soul reading for a lady that was really feeling very desperate about money and about jobs and about businesses and timing, and all those kind of pressures. And watching the energy was just like this, just like, and like this. And it was like, but I'm just going to get this done with this energy. And then I'll come over here and relax and do the thing I'm supposed to do. Right. I want to do. Right. Yeah. And it's like, to see that. So look at the energy. If you're doing it from desperation, go sit down. Right. Yeah. And do something soothing and nurturing to yourself, and then make a game out of it, because I have a very, very active left brain too. I like the research and planning and creating and building as well. So I'll be in my feminine flow, maybe going, I wonder what kind of messages I could receive today because of this or that or on this. And I can give it some structure, right? Or I can be like, oh, I'm going to look up a little research on, a particular goddess, right? And then let that, just reading those energies, suddenly now, oh, right, her presence is coming in. And now we're like, oh, okay, now I can feel something. And I might go into a download, some people call it, right, or something like that. So you can kind of blend the two. But yeah, being in the energies of the infinite field, and that you're the cook, right? You can like pull from all these different things, and you don't even know, when you're carrying a baby inside of you, you don't know what it's doing, what it's going to look like.
No idea.
You're just holding the space. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you. So Nan, we have some people with their hands raised for questions about, I guess, for the abundant soul readings. You want to do some?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna, okay, wow. So we're gonna go to Devki first. Devki, you wanna unmute yourself?
Hello, Arola.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Hi, sweetie.
Yes. Hi, Nan.
Hi there.
Nice talking to you again.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I've done several readings for you, right?
Yes, you have, actually. I was on your course. Yeah. Okay. So my question is, I'm in a transition in my career, and I was just wondering, what can I do to overcome the limitations or the blockages that are preventing me from moving forward? In other words, how can I open myself up to the infinite possibilities that are around?
Okay, let's take a look. Well, the first thing that's really present in your field in general is things like why. There's a lot of why bouncing around. The transition, you're not fully on board with it. You're not fully present to it. There's energies that are like why, and parts of you that are connected to it, parts of you that are sort of like looking out the window. I don't know if I'm involved in this. And it's almost like you need a meeting, right? With all of these beautiful energies, with all of these parts of you, to get a single focus. Now, the single focus is not like the masculine energy that we're used to, that we were talking about, where I'm going to look, right, to drill, but it is a single focus in gathering, right? So gathering these energies together. So if you've ever done on a job interview, you know that you're basically in a sales conversation, right? You're selling yourself. And if you're ever in a conversation selling your own services or anything, you're in a conversation selling yourself or selling something. And people want to know why. Well, why you? why this product, why this thing. So that's why we have videos and testimonials and the descriptions, right, on products. And we go on Amazon and we look for what has the most stars and what people said and all of this stuff. Like, why this? Why this? And so this isn't about why proving yourself to anyone outside of you. This is about getting all of you going in the same direction and allowing and as the center of you and everything else, that why question needs to be addressed. So if you imagine, if you just go into a meditation, a space, and I like to call it an acceptance chamber, create a sphere of light that you go to the state of acceptance. That's where you let go and you harmonize, and you transcend, and there's compassion, and you're accepting all these parts of you. You're inviting them into a neutral place that's even more loving and compassionate than just neutral, because maybe you've ignored them, maybe you don't know that they're there or whatever. So you're saying, hey, everybody, it's time, come together. I want to welcome you in. So I imagine creating that space, and this is for anybody. Do this, create a sacred space and activate light, call in energies you love, whatever it is, ask for protection and safe space and to be connected to your highest good and all of those wonderful things. And then literally we call it an acceptance lounge. Create this, like, oh, what would you do if you were inviting over someone you loved? You'd light a candle or some incense, put on music, maybe put out snacks, have some thing to drink, whatever. So you're opening an acceptance lounge, and you're going to call all the parts of you in, because you're in a transition. And it's only makes sense that as the head of the business, as the head of the entire operation of you in this particular lifetime, you have the chance of going, oh, okay, listen, we have a new plan. We've reached a moment of a soul trigger, I would call it, right? And we're moving in a new direction. So all of our focuses, all of our beliefs, all of our everything, we've been moving in this direction. We're going to have a meeting so we get all on the same page. We all understand what we're doing. Now, this is not to say I'm going to be this at this place at this time and this color and this person and this building. Okay. This is, we're all on board that we're transitioning into a new career. We're opening to our optimal soul work at this time. We're opening to the highest level of my being and my soul self and my blueprint and my skills from all the other lifetimes that I connected to create this life. And I'm ready to be a clear and open channel for those. What is the optimal path for me? Where are the optimal people? What is the optimal way for me to share my gifts and to be on a path of purpose, to grow? And then you feel the qualities, okay? The qualities, instead of I want to be a nurse, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be this, with these definitions, the definitions are left in a muted kind of way, and you fill it with the qualities. What do you want? I want to feel free. I want to feel seen. I want to feel heard. I want to feel creative. I want to work with women. I want to work somewhere there's a lot of plants and light. I want to work from home. I want to have a flexible schedule. I just had a client who got a raise. She did a 2-month money, wealth, esteem private package with me. And we go deep into like all the energies of the money, beliefs and stories in the family and everything else. And so she got all kinds of wonderful things. She got a raise and she won some awards and she got new clients, and there was great stuff already happening. And then the holidays, we took a break. We got back together. We did a soul reading to start the year for her. And she said, they offered me the position of president, and I have this, and she's naming all the benefits. And one I'd never heard of, unlimited sick leave and vacation time. And they said to her, we trust you. We think you actually work too hard. And therefore, we want you to know that if you need to take the time off or you want to take the time off, you can always do it. We trust your discretion. And I thought, wow, that is some serious abundance right there, right? That is some serious. So that's what I mean. You want to be embodying the qualities of this direction and I like writing down stuff. Like I said, it's easiest to describe if I want a house. So when I moved to New Mexico, I went and looked around. And I was like, I want a Kiva fireplace, and I want a Latia ceiling, and I want adobe walls, and I like all the local things I liked in the house. So that's great. That organizes, that says. So you can do that. But now you need to get over here and get every part of you on board with the mission and the vision. So I would recommend you have an acceptance lounge meeting. You call all these parts of you in, and you just imagine that you're standing in the center of the room and you're talking to all of these parts of you. So this is your mind and your emotions and fears and the fear of speaking up and the controlling person and everything, every part of you, including your blueprint and your higher self and everything. And you're just like inspiring, right? You're inspiring yourself and you're inspiring them. And you say, we've got this great moment in time and everything is transitioning and there's an accelerated evolution going on. And it's time for us to ride this wave. So we're going to let go of this and we're going to come into the flow and we're opening to what's optimal to us. And we don't know what the exact right career or job or business or person or marketing way or any of that stuff. It will all be there, but we're going to get on board with this vision and then start building your vision. So when you build a business, you want to build the spiritual side of a business. The same thing with a career. When you build that, you want, what is the structure? What is the energy you're putting into the building? Again, if you feel blocked, then simply ask your higher self to open you to the flow to see what the block is. Because it's not like, why am I blocked? I'm stupid, I'm blocked. I'm the bad person because I'm blocked, or this block has more power than me. None of those are true. You're supposed to look at the block. If you were literally walking and you ran into a wall, you wouldn't keep banging your head against the wall saying, why doesn't it open? You'd walk along the wall looking for a door, or you'd backtrack down a block and go around because it was a dead end, right? But we do this energetically. And so keep this, bring all of you together, and then dream and vision, play. Just play. How would it feel? How do I want to feel when I get up? Excited about it. How do I want to feel when I'm paid? How do I want to feel when I get to do something creative? How do I want to feel? What do I want to do? And then free that into the infinite field and don't be controlling. That's the other part of our masculine side that's getting in the way, is trying to go, well, what, that didn't happen, or I'm looking for this exact thing. No, then you have to relax back and float down the river. And be like, ooh, and then the ideas come and the synchronicities come. And I'm in the process of buying a house, and the most stunning, surprising left field benefits and gifts that have shown up. And I didn't even think I wanted to buy a house, or I could buy a house again, or anything else. I'm in a different country. You can't get a loan. Like, there's all this stuff that in the past I would have been like, too much. I'm not doing it. It sounds stressful. Instead, I did that. Oh, I'm not even opening that as a possibility. Maybe that is a possibility. I don't have to do it if I open to the possibility. So I'm going to open to the possibility. And I started to dream it and vision it and free it. And then stuff would show up and it'd be like, hey, do you want to see this? And hey, look at that. And I'd walk down the beach. And so I even asked the lady I was renting a house on the beach from, is your house for sale? And she said, no, but I'm willing to sell it. I was like, what? Oh my God. So flow, be in the flow. Okay, hon?
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Really lovely. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave. You
thank you, Alara.
Yeah, you might want to go back and listen to that part again, okay?
Yes, definitely I will. Thank you so much.
Good, thank you. And that's a great process for everybody, not just for Dave Key, but for everybody. So please do go back and watch and or listen to that again and do it for yourself. That acceptance meeting, or that acceptance, what did you call it? Space lounge. Yeah, lounge.
I like the lounge because mine has cushions and crystals and plants and music and little fountains and
exactly. Acceptance lounge. Good. Gina. Gina, you want to unmute yourself?
Hey there.
Hi.
So I would like to know about any blocks in meeting a male partner for myself.
Hi, Gina. I love your name.
Thank you.
It was one of these names when I was little that I wanted to have because I thought my name was ugly. And I wanted these pretty names. It makes me think of genie, magic.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Uh-huh. Yes, I actually loved that show when I
Me
was a
too.
kid, and we didn't understand how sexist it was, but I just thought that's what I want. That and Bewitched. Did anybody else here practice wiggling your nose?
Yep, never worked.
Never worked.
Can't move it.
Again, I thought it was because I didn't know how to wiggle my nose. Didn't do it really good enough. So, okay. Gina, where do you live, Gina?
I live in Princeton, New Jersey, Princeton area. You have someone for me?
Yeah, actually, that's so funny. I don't know why. I don't always know why I asked that question, but that's funny. Like a app. Who's in your area? Princeton. It's an interesting energy. So you said a male partner, right? So you're looking for a prince. Looking for. Oh, interesting. You have 3 energies that I see, and wow, one is consuming. It's like overbearing. It's almost like an alligator is coming up your back and then just gobbling you up. There's a lot of karma in 2 of these potential relationships. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of energy that's already there, connections, lifetimes, or experiences that have happened, this or other lives. So it means there's some energy, right? It's not a new meeting, because the minute we entangle, right, it through time, space, dimensions, it doesn't matter. We're entangled with that person. So one is a huge monster. Okay, it's turned into Godzilla now, and it's definitely a male presence that is it's at your back, and it's wanting to just dominate you, consume you, just take over you. So whether or not you actually know this person or you meet this person in the flesh, in the 3D, this is definitely a relationship you're going to want to energetically dissolve. And what I mean by that is that it's like it might end up being the relationship, but the energy that's between now is not good, because it's this that there's no balance, right? And there's a lot of possession in it.
It sounds like you're talking about my ex-husband.
Yeah. And so you've got to dissolve that before you are in a really clear, safe space to believe, really, to allow, to receive, to accept, to recognize, to see. To manifesting means to see. To make manifest means to make something so you can see it, which I think is such a fascinating definition when we think about it. So we literally don't see certain things because our eyes can't see things, bugs, and our ears can't hear things dogs can hear and stuff, but also that inner vision, right? The desire for a new relationship in this way is beautiful. It's tender. It's fresh. You have a space in your heart that's very, very clear, bright. It's emitting little beautiful heart like ripples, but they're heart shaped. It's kind of coming up, but there's this big overbearing energy there. So yeah, this is wow. Now the tail is like anchoring down into the earth, and it's just like mine. So freeing yourself from this is very important. Now the fun part is you don't have to do just one and then the other and blah blah blah, right? Both, both the inspiration, the dreaming, the imagining. There's one very fresh, very new energy that's on your right behind you. It's small, like it looks like a small cartoon animal, like very cute, but it looks like it's a new seed so to speak, right? A new seed that is coming present into your light body. So what that means is that it's definitely come through since July or June of last year. It's been seeded and been growing. So instead of being a little seed, it's like a little sprout or a little pod. And that energy, I don't know what direction it will go, but this is in your field. And not only was it encoded in your field, like we all bring codes and, possibilities and all this stuff, but this one is sprouting, which is a big deal. It means that energies that you released last year fed this. When we release our crap, our pain and all that, Gaia turns it into fertilizer, right? And we get it fed back to us, and we fertilize the new possibilities. And then the other one is also karmic, so to speak. There's a connection there. It's much smaller. It doesn't seem as threatening. It's standing over your left side. It seems almost a little robotic in its energy. And I'm trying to see, is there anything you need? Right now, there's nothing that it needs but to know that it's there, that it may come up. You may know who it is again. It may come to you in a dream, or if you do sessions with somebody, or you write, if you ever write, just free flow write. I think it's one of the greatest ways to receive information, and open a channel, a clear and open channel inside of your higher self in a safe space that's through your heart for what's optimal for you at this time. Then you know that whatever's coming through is exactly what you need to know. You don't need a barrage of information. You don't need to know every life you ever had. You don't need to know every pain you ever, right? We only want to know what's optimal for us at this time, that's going to lead us in the flow to open up, let go, shed, or whatever, to that next layer or to that quantum leap that's always on its way coming. So that's there, and there'll be something that will come forward with it. Maybe it'll be someone you'll meet for a while, you may feel fond of. Don't be in a hurry, but enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. It's very important that you experience a fondness, joy, a softness, calm, respect, but not respect like, damn, you better respect me, but you just have this softness sitting, like I see sitting on benches in a park, just like where you just sit and look and you're in vibes, right? You're just like, you're in this space with somebody. That's very nurturing for you. It may or may not be the person. So let go of having to have the person. That being in the feminine flow, be in pleasure, enjoy different people, different relationships. Don't compromise yourself and do things you don't love. Don't enter into a relationship that makes you feel threatened, pressured, or obligated. It's very important that what you're moving into is the antithesis of this Godzilla energy, right? And it is there, and it doesn't mean that that a man that is kind or gentle or loving is weak. So if any energies come up around that, that's a very common thing that comes up for women. Just allow that to be, oh, that's interesting, and watch it move in and out. There's a redefining of what it means to be in a relationship also. So if you go in and you unhook, you give permission to the X, to the emotion, to the energies, to the fears, to the failures, to the pain, anything, right? Known and unknown in any level of your being. I like to weave in and out in an infinity weave, like I'm unhooking. I'm letting it go. I'm flushing in fresh energy, and I'm flushing out the attachment. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It just matters that you do it. Purifying, doing some purifying energetically, calling in different energies, rays, colors to purify, and ask that what is the word? It's not permission. It's really allow. It's on your head. Like, for you to really embrace who you want to be in a relationship like this, it's letting go being in the moment, being more in the flow, and that requires that trust, right? So as you unhook, let yourself flow in and lean out. Lean in. Hey, that was an interesting guy at the local restaurant. I'll go back again and talk to him, or whatever. I don't know what people do nowadays, but nothing is about, I wonder if it's him. I'm gonna figure it out. It's more like, that was fun. Oh, how did that feel? That felt really fun. Huh, I'll do that. And then you move on. And the more you notice those beautiful moments and that you're present here, regardless of what this is, remember, this heavy energy is hanging on you, still trying to devour you, but it is behind you. It is on your back. So it's, if you flush yourself with pure energy, right? Try to wash it off, unhook it, feel any emotions that come up, let it go, everything into acceptance. Because as you accept the past and how you felt about it, but that you no longer matters, then your emotional body forgives or lets go. Then you can start to think harmoniously, and that's the state you want to be in when you connect with potential experiences and people. But it's important to give yourself some pleasure, to allow yourself to feel special and beautiful and valued, even if it's just for the day.
Thank you. That was lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're so beautiful and you're blooming and you're sending out nice scents like a flower. They're smaller, but they're starting to come up. So yeah, work with that energies. Let me know if you have any questions about it. And the unhooking for all of us, the unhooking from those energies that we've carried for a long time, if we let them go by accepting them, oh, there you are again. Oh yeah, let's see, are you there today? Yeah, you're there. Okay. How about you go outside for a little while and I'll come later and pick you up, right? We just have like this gentleness, like you're telling a child, don't run into the road. Mommy's driving right now. She can't look at you because we'll all die. Like energetically, that I found that to be really powerful energetically. Is when my twins were like, Mom, look, and I'm driving. I mean, like, I can't look right now, honey. And I didn't say, or we'll all die, right? But I'm like, I'm driving. I have to look this way. And then I started realizing, as I went through my divorce and as other things happened, when those fear or those heavy energies come up, instead of fighting with them or suppressing them or ignoring them, if I can't deal with them in the moment, if I can, I bring them into the acceptance lounge and I just feel them move through me and I see what information comes out of them. And then I give them a new job and say, well, we're going to do this now. And maybe I have to repeat that like a child a few times, but that acceptance of it. And then you can be in that flow. So start to vision and imagine. I feel like you already do, like imagine what it will be like to have a partner that's fun, but give yourself permission to, really dream, like, going on vacation or going, whatever you like to do, right? Going camping or whatever it is that you really love, being with somebody who's so aligned with you that you have that sense of comfort and peace, right? And beauty, and there isn't any restriction. That's the thing you need to look for.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome, Gina.
Thank you
Yay.
so much.
Great. All right, so we're going to just take two more quick questions. We're going to go to Shama. Where's Shama gone?
I'm here. Thank you,
All right.
Lara.
You're welcome. So yeah, we're just taking two more quick questions. So what do you have for Nan?
Oh, Nan, there's so much that you already said there that I am going to be working with. But there's a little part of me I am finding that I can't find. As much as I'm ready to rock and roll, I find there's a lack of identity, sort of. Like I do not want to present myself, or I'm ashamed or fearful to. And I just can't put my finger on it. I'm always willing, but there's that little fear. Guess I don't know who to say, this is so and so, and this is what I'm presenting to you. And I think it has to do probably with fear or shame. And I did a lot of inner work, inner child work to accept and love. And I'm in that grace and flow and understanding love and so on. But there's still that It's almost, that procrastination feelings like, oh, I cannot break through that part. And I don't know if there's some energy or some vow or something that happened that you may pick up on.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, yeah. um, well, the resistance is in being willing to accept who you are.
Mm,
So you're seeking, and like you said, you've done inner work. So I love it when when I meet people like you, because you can see energetically you've been restructuring your light body, you've been freeing yourself of some fears, and you've been reconnecting. And you can see, like when you see inside of a machine almost, right, how things have been shifting. So but right now it's bigger. The bigger part is again a little bit that masculine energy, right?
mm,
What is it? What is it? What is it? Looking for the problem instead of
mm,
relaxing flow. So the accepting of who you are has specific fears inside of it. So look for those. Okay. Look
mhm,
for the fears of, well, what if I accepted? So I'll tell you the deep, if you can do this as deep as possible, this is an insanely powerful process. So I was faced with
okay.
a very difficult decision one time, and
Mhm,
I took the 3 weeks off over the holidays in December that year, and I told the people that I was in this project with, I'm going to take the December off, right? I'm going to just not talk. So we're going to just shut the project down. And then I knew within me, I had to decide whether I still wanted to be a part of it because of the people involved and the energies. And
mhm,
it was very difficult because it was like, ooh, opportunity. And am I shooting myself in the foot, and this and that, and back and forth. So after almost 3 weeks, I still hadn't gotten any clarity, and I was like blown away. So I laid down on the couch one day, and I went into a deep meditative kind of state where I imagined one decision. So
mhm,
let's say, okay, what would it feel like if I said, no, I'm out, I'm done, I'm handing you the project, but I don't want a part of it anymore? Think, what would that mean? How would it change what I did every day? What would it be like without those relationships, without those obligations? The opportunity wouldn't be there. How would I feel? And I kept going deep as I could into imagining, being, sensing what it was like if I made that
mhm,
decision. And then I went to the other one. And sometimes you have to do it at different times, but it's going to show you where your fears are, what those are of accepting. Okay. So, because a lot of decisions are made from fear, and some people don't even realize that the fear is there, right? They're like, oh no, I thought it through, and this is the best decision because it's comfortable, right? Or something like that.
right,
So
right.
accepting is going to be the most important for you. So look where you have the blocks to accepting who you are. And
Mhm,
if you don't have a scale of consciousness, you can get it free on my shop, shop.nanakasha.com. We
mhm,
have the scale of consciousness free there. Look at the state of acceptance and start to really think about each of those things. Your emotional body goes into forgiveness, or what I call letting go. So you don't have to work at
mm,
forgiveness. You
mhm,
don't, please stop everybody working on forgiveness. It's the biggest waste of time. Like, you're trying to work on something that doesn't need to be worked on. You just need to accept yourself.
right,
You start to
right.
accept yourself, then your emotional body starts to let go. Then you don't have the heavy fears and the emotions, and even the ones you don't know. Your mind goes into harmony. You start to transcend the back and forth of the seeing the blocks or whatever it is. And in that
Mhm,
state, you get nurtured, you start to receive. So accepting yourself, what would it mean if you accepted who you were, if you accepted your path? And yes, there's shame there, and there's guilt there, and you can look on the scale. Shame is the lowest state, and we're given a bunch. We were all cursed with shame. I mean, think about it. I don't know if any of you, but I used to hear shame on you. I'd be
yeah,
like, what? Like, now I know what that means. That's a curse, man. Don't
yeah,
put, that's like a heavy blob of really, really heavy energy. You don't put that on other people. So we have to free ourselves from that. Yeah. And like, again, reach out to me, ask me some questions. I can point you some directions, but freeing yourself from guilt is the same as any other energy. We unburden, we unhook from the beliefs. Sometimes you know what they are. Sometimes the energy process that you go through frees it. So if you watch some of
mhm.
my live streams, I do a lot of
Okay.
processes and healings on my YouTube live streams and stuff too. Then just keep cleansing and clearing your light body, because it works on every level. And then specifically, if you really want, if this is really what you want, then sit down, make a commitment to yourself, to your higher self, create a sacred space where you meet, and then accept. Like just what we talked about, create the acceptance lounge and say, okay, who's next? What else is out there? Wow, I didn't know you were there. Okay.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I will, and I will go and check out your I have to get that website again. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Wonderful.
Alara.
Thank you, Shama. Great. All right, Garin. I want to say it's like Karin, but I'm not sure.
No, it's Garin.
Garin.
I'm Armenian.
Oh, hi,
wonderful.
Garin. I know
So-
you, don't I?
Yes, you know me.
Hi.
I sent you the other day an email that thank you very much and I love you. I don't know if you received it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So I am in a transition period also. I'm looking for my path. And I'm I don't know. It's like you choose what you want to say for me.
Okay. I just have to clear the old energy so we get a clear signal. So it's okay. Let's create a clear connection. All right. Well, you have a you have a fairy tale path. You have a fairy tale kind of feeling to your purpose, your path, as you call it. And so there's a lot of magic in it. What I mean by that is there's a lot of lightness. There's a lot of feminine flow, intuitive guidance, creativity, nurturing. There's a lot of nature is very important. And they literally showed a path, like, winding path with beautiful flowers and plants, not really trees alongside it. But then suddenly the whole path down the center of it, flowers were laid like a path to follow. So following this path of flowers, it's a winding way, but you have these. Now, let me just see what they're saying specifically to you. Well, they're all open, right? They're all open. They looked a little bit like marigolds, which look a little bit like lotuses to me with smaller petals. There's just lots of petals open, sitting flat. Different colors. There's like several yellow, and then there's a red, and then there's several white, and then there's a color, and they're moving down the path. And so these are like steps that they're open and they're ready, but they're saying the clues are embedded in beauty, in nature, in what you find beautiful. So beauty to us isn't just what we see, right? It's how we feel around a place or a person. It's how we feel when we're doing something. Oh, I feel so good. I feel so fulfilled, or I feel full of meaning, or I feel, that I pushed myself to the ultimate of my amazing abilities and I stretched into it. And opening, a lot of opening. This is very feminine vision. So it's definitely getting into the feminine flow, and looking for the path to be much easier than you're thinking. Don't complicate it. It's laid out for you. It's embedded in the beauty around you. And what they're showing me is that to pick up. So if you were literally walking on this path, you would pick up the flower and smell it, like just breathe it in. And the energy and the essence of the flower and the aroma and the energies that are unique to that particular being, right? Just come through you and cross your mind and your brain and open that inner eye and connect more of this. So flower essences are also very important for you. Not the oils, although that's fine, essential oils. Flower essences are tinctures that you take, like Bach flower essences. I would look and see if someone has a marigold or a lilac. I don't remember working with those. And white orchid. White orchid is a very good essence for you. So before you actually buy any of those, if you can find them, connect to them. They're conscious beings. You can connect to their energies. Just weave heart to heart, open yourself, and do the same thing. Do this. Open your heart every day by weaving in and out in an infinity weave in many different directions. Okay. And this is, you're in your safe space. Be inside of your pillar of light, and you're opening to the path. You're opening to the possibilities. You're ready and willing and open and receptive to receive the guidance, the visions, the senses, to awaken your senses so that they begin to blossom and receive and receive, receive, receive. So each step of the way, each tiny little synchronicity or guidance or inspiration or anything else, embrace it, bring it completely into your being and receive it. So that brings me back to a really powerful message that I forgot to mention earlier. Alara, you said something was, you have to receive first. So we're always trying to, before we receive. I have to give before I can receive. I have to prove myself before I receive. I have to provide something before I receive. Not with your divine path, not with yourself. So you've got a beautifully verdant, alive, vivid path. It's laid out, it does curve, but that's not a surprise. It's not overgrown. It's not covered in a tangled forest, like all these other energetic things that I see. It's very clean, it's ready. And the minute that you release, that you open to this being a fun adventure, a quest, that each day will open up a different mystery, and that you're listening, right? You're open with your senses. We have 360, so you're not going to pop all of them open tomorrow, but even if 3 opened, right, there's like another level of like, oh, okay, and then receive. So receiving is a lot of different ways of receiving. Be willing to receive messages, be willing to receive guidance, be willing to receive support, be willing to drink, right? To receive completely, whether it's energy or food or something else. That receiving is going to rejuvenate all these things within you that will awaken. That you have almost on your meridians, you have a lot of clear pathways. So there's these nodes that if you would receive, you're going to, like feeding a plant, right? Watering a plant, you're going to rejuvenate it, you're going to moisten it, soften it, and then it can grow and it can start to receive. So receive in a lot of different ways. You're very, everybody's psychic, but you have a template, I call it, a structure that's very good for receiving information in many different ways, right? So seeing and feeling and sensing and clairaudience and different things like that too.
You know, my favorite flower is orchid, and I have many of them at home.
Nice.
And I just love them, and I hug them, and I take care of them. I say, I love you.
Yes, and they love you too. So you can bring them that into more. Like I would actually, since that's already one of your guides and your supports and your BFFs, do you have an essence, an oil?
Not really, but I have the spray, the rescue, the flowers of Bach that I use it time to time.
Yes, I love Rescue Remedy. My motto is don't leave home without it. And it's not just for like a car accident, it's for any kind of stress. It's for general healing. It's very soothing. So Rescue Remedy is excellent. But well, and I've worked with flower essences a lot, and I'm a homeopath, so I use a lot of different essences, but I'm not familiar with the orchid ones, but white for sure is a very powerful one for you. But if you Google that, I'm sure you can find it. Now there is a lady, what's this called? Star Essences.
Yeah,
And
she
I
has
know,
orchids. Yeah.
yeah, she started her brand with orchids she brought from Peru.
Wow.
And they're
So
great. Yeah, they're great,
yeah,
actually.
so not, I don't know that this has orchids in it, but her original ones were. And we spent some time with her in Arkansas. She owns a boat and took us on to Crystal Lake, and she's just lovely. So, but yeah, that's one place I know for sure you can find some orchid essences.
Yeah.
How can I deal with the problems of letting go?
Well,
It's so strong with me.
it's not a problem. So
do the acceptance lounge process.
Yeah, don't make it a problem. Okay. So if you're ready to let go, let go. So I know that we have to close the call. So I'm going to share a little story that I went through a workshop many years ago. I was going through my hypnotherapy training for about 5 years, and I took a lot of other workshops. And this was, we all met at a beach house and we stayed for a while. And the first night they took us out on the beach, and all the people who were coming, and there were about 5 or 6 different healers that were running it. And they put us in teams of like 4 or 5 people, and we had a flashlight, and we were given a bucket, and we filled it with wet sand, very heavy sand. And then we stood there with the bucket, and then they gave us a list of rules. I don't remember them, but they were like, you have to put the bucket down. You have to let the bucket go. But I think it was, you have to let the bucket go, but you can't set it down. You can't give it to someone else. You can't blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's all these rules. And literally here were all of these people. We were huddled in little things trying to figure out, how do you do it? 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 What do we do? I don't know. Really complicating everything. The answer was, let me see what I could do here. This was the answer. Let go. Now it's oversimplified, but when you experience trying to figure it out, like you said, and then you go, oh, it's sort of like you're fighting yourself. You're holding on to something, but you're trying to climb up here, but you're staying there. Okay. So reach out to me and maybe we can do some more work around that. But energetically use those orchids and do the acceptance lounge. And then just keep telling yourself, I'm ready to let go, because what's going to happen when you say you're ready and willing, and you're open and receptive to let go of what's no longer optimal for me, and this is for everybody in every situation of your life, it means that you're ready to align with your optimal flow. And then whatever's between you and that, the blocks that are there, they're going to come up because you're saying, I'm ready and willing. And suddenly it's like, oh, but you can't because. So then you might hear them and see them, the fears, then you write them down, then you make new ones, right? You might feel them in your dreams, or you might not even feel them, but you may feel like unsafe or untrusting, or you might get a cold or diarrhea or whatever. Like we manifest all kinds of things, but you will, it's sort of like shining a light on the blocks.
Thank you. So I reach you by email?
Yes, sure. You can send an email to nan@nanakasha.com, or go to the website and send an email to whatever email's on there.
And the oil company name, what is it?
This one was Star Essence. It's probably Star Essence. staressence.com.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sweetie. Take care.
Good. Awesome. All right. So that was wonderful. Wow. Like your readings are always so spot on. It's like it's like, I don't know. You're just like so good. It's amazing. And it's information or wisdom. It's not just a reading, but it's like tools and processes that they can use now moving forward, which I think is awesome. And that's for everybody. So everybody who's watching now or later, go back and listen to all the answers for the questions, for the readings, because there's a process in there that you can use for yourself, you know? So it's so empowering. So beautiful, Nan. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about the special offers as well. So we have some special offers from Nan. So if you are on the live page, you can just click on special offer. If not, you can go to alara.at/show/Nan1. And basically there's, I can't even talk anymore. Basically there's 2 offers. Oh my goodness, package A and B. And package A is a live private soul reading with Akash. So do you want to talk about that, Nan?
Yeah, sure.
First.
So it's an hour and we do it on audio so you're not distracted and you get the recording so you don't have to take notes. And it's a little bit similar to what you saw here, but what you said is a really good description. So what I do is tune in and I create a sacred space and all of that. And then you can tell me things like you did here, like I really want this, or I'm thinking about that, or I'm blocked with this, or you don't have to tell me, but whatever comes through is exactly what is optimal right now. And so similar to what Alara said, usually 99% of the time, the reaction at the end is like, wow, oh, wow. And then we move energies. So I'm scanning your light body. I'm looking at it. That means we're also moving things. Sometimes we go into a healing. Sometimes we go into a process. Lately, a lot of other lives, what you might call past lives, but your soul has all these lives at the same time that are relevant to the problem you're dealing with, come in. Sometimes we see the talents. Sometimes I see the energies that are over you. Recently people have had these paper bags over parts of them over the head. One lady had a like energetic paper bag over her head. But we can see so many different things. And like I said, even if you don't explain a lot to me, what I'm going to be shown is exactly what you need to know. And as it comes through, we start to interpret it. So you get the experience and the healing at the time, and then you get the audio. You can take your notes or you can re-listen to parts of it. And we always put a remedy bubble. I call it a Akashic remedy bubble. We put some kind of energy bubble around you. That's the kind of thing I teach in the light body healing, and whatever is optimal for you. So recently, like harmonized power program, protection. One lady had a spiritual eye, which is a program to help open that inner eye, and clarity and peace and all these different things that we can put around that help to integrate what comes through. So it's more than just a reading like, oh, you're going to be happy tomorrow or something like that. This is really a deep healing, a multidimensional look at who you are. And you come out with feeling fresh, feeling more connected, and having a lot more information about where you are, and also some tools and direction about what to do. Also recently, because I think it's the new year, because of what we went through last year, a lot of people have new guides that are presenting themselves.
Beautiful. Great. And then, then you get to work with these new guides, and that's going to open up a whole new pathway for you. Yeah, yep. For sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that's package A for $167, and then there's package B for $99, which is stepping into something bigger, a soul purpose breakthrough bundle. So there's 8 parts to this. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So that's what I keep hearing, right? I'm ready for something bigger. I know I'm designed for something bigger. Several people said it here. I'm ready to get on my path, but I feel stuck, or I'm ready to know my purpose, or I'm ready to find, different meaning. And so I put this through because you've been called to this moment. You came here for this reason. I'm sure this is a conversation you're probably having on your show all the time, is that we all chose to be here right now. Mm-hmm. So because it's a massive opportunity. And so these are different audios. They're instant access audios and videos for you. So one of them is the How to Master Your Emotions in Any Situation course. And this is working with that scale of consciousness, working with freeing yourself from your emotions and your overwhelm and the other things that are, that we're talking about are frequently that emotional field. So this is a really, really powerful course. It's easy to do and easy to apply and very practical. Then we have Whispers from My Soul, which is a meditation. I think it's about an hour with music that I design. And this is to take you in to listening to your soul, to your higher self, to receive the guidance that you're looking for. So these are designed to repeat over and over. Use them as portals. Each time you do it, you'll have a different experience. The next one is called Access to Abundance. It's a soul blueprint meditation to your stellar gateway chakra. What that means simply is that you're in your energy centers or your chakras. You have your crown, that's usually called 7. 8 is your soul star, that's your higher self. And the next one is 9, and we call that your stellar gateway. That is your portal to your record keeper, not your Akashic, your other lives, but to your soul blueprint. And so this is a meditation and music that takes you guided into your ninth chakra, where you can then actually access your soul blueprint for reconnecting to what am I here for, or whatever other answer is optimal for you. So we call it access to abundance, because this is literally where the field of abundance, you have a portal to it. That's the infinite field. That's where you can remember and actually go, oh, I can create whatever I want. What would that be? And you start to become creative. So it's a very, very powerful. Again, I think it's about an hour. Then we've got a journey, a shamanic journey with butterfly, and also a shamanic journey with jaguar. These are both an hour with very beautifully designed music to take you through the journey. They come in as spirit guides. They're both about metamorphosis. They're both about Jaguar is about seeing in the dark, seeing your shadows, seeing through your fears, seeing through anything that's blocking you. And every time you do it again, it's a different experience. And butterfly is, of course, that metamorphosis, that what are you letting go? If you're not letting go of your previous form, let it go, because you can't burst forth and spread your beautiful new wings. I wore this butterfly thing today for us. If you don't let go of who you were, you can't fully form into who you're becoming. Mm-hmm. So those are really powerful for right now. Then we've got an audio that you listen to. It's 15 to 30 minutes. You can put it on while you sleep or listen to it while you do the dishes, which is more like I would call affirmations, but they're about rewiring your mind into aligning with your purpose, believing in your infinite self and stuff like that. And repetition is very important for changing those pathways in your brain that we talked about. There's 3 PDFs that have some printable declarations for empowering that you can do. And you also get a $30 off gift certificate for a private session with me. There's a lot of different ways that we work. We can go on shamanic journeys. We can do the readings. We can do all kinds of different things. So you can find out whatever you'd like to apply that to.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. That
so really makes it like $66 if you apply the coupon. So yeah.
And that's such a beautiful package, because I mean, let's face it, we're still in January, and so many people are still wondering about their purpose, how to move forward. You know, what should they be doing now in this new economy, and not just new economy, but in this new age of Aquarius, with everything changing and shifting so much, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so empowering. Plus the session with you in package A, it's like. Yeah. Who wouldn't want that? You know, it's like, yeah, amazing, beautiful. I love it. So both of those are available at alara.at/show/Nan1. So please do take advantage of them right now and take a look at them, see which one resonates with you the most. Both will be helpful. So just amazing. So thank you. So Nan, what else would you like to share with us today about the feminine flow, abundance, and just about, even like about aligning to our own feminine flow, or even, I know a lot of times people say, oh, I can't hear my messages. I'm not getting the messages, and I'm not hearing anything. I'm asking, nothing's coming up.
Yeah, well, again, most of the time it's because we're too much in the doing mind, and it's blocking us being able to hear it. Mm-hmm. Right. And so, but it's always some kind of energy that's in the way. Mm-hmm. It's a belief of like, for somebody who came through, was you're not ready or willing, you still have blocks or fears to fully accepting yourself. So when you say, oh, I want to know my purpose, I want to get on my path, but I don't want to upset anybody, but I don't want anything to change in my life, mm-hmm. but I don't want my, friends or employer or something to think I'm weird. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. That gets in the way. Right. Sure. So we have to let go and become who we are ultimately at that. I think the free gift also would help with that. It's a journey with Pele, the volcano mm-hmm. fire Hawaiian goddess. And that is part of the goddess sanctuary. So the goddess sanctuary, we've opened up, we're creating it. We're anchoring the divine feminine on the planet by week, bringing through a new, goddess. And Pele wasn't even in the original 6 that said they wanted to create this until the holidays happened, and I started to read about the volcano in Hawaii that's actively producing new earth. And I was just tantalized by that. I was just tickled by that. I thought, here we are, we're creating a new Earth, right? We're going through a timeline split, all these things we talk about. And here Gaia is literally producing new Earth. And I thought, what's the energy in it? You know how I keep saying, what's the energy that you're doing this with, deciding this with, thinking about, planning? And I thought, well, we have that. And so she just started coming to me. So she came through, and she wanted to be the first energy that came through. And so I've gifted that to everybody in your community for free. And it's both who is Pele, then we get a channeled message, and then there's an hour-long journey with her. And really what she said was, you're just like me, deep within you. If you let go of what other people think, you hold the container, the space, and you pull from everything. She's part of earth, and she's fire, and she's water, and she's air, and she's in there mixing it up until the right moment, and then it comes out. And sometimes it flows out, sometimes it explodes out, right? But the beautiful messages we got, it was so empowering. And she actually took us in to this inner earth womb kind of place, into every stage of creation. And I had never heard this until I was being the channel for this journey, when she said, I am the goddess, or the essence, who is never not pregnant, never not giving birth. I'm always in every stage of creation at the same time. I'm completely empty, ready to receive the seed of inspiration. And I've just been seeded, and I'm growing and developing, and I'm giving birth always at the same time. And so are we.
Right. Wow.
So yeah, it was wild. So enjoy that. And it's all about getting back into that feminine flow. Again, not just going there, but bringing it in enough into your life to get some balance.
And that's what it's about. It's about balance, right? So yes, we still have to do, but we have to do, but also we have to be and receive as well, right? And be in that flow. So we have to do both. You can't just do one or the other. We've done the doing for so long, and it's no longer working.
And it's reached a point where it's like, it's exhausted. It's like you've pushed that car, and it's rotted, and it fell apart, and it just won't go any farther. You need to put some gas in it. It needs some life force, right? It needs some polishing, and some loving care, and some nourishment, and all of that. So yeah, we all need it. We all deserve it. And what I love about this moment is how quickly things shift. And it's a little disconcerting if you're like wanting things to stay the same or to know what's happening. But when you start relaxing into this flow that we're in, and you're like I literally last week, and a few of my clients, there was one day that the energies were obviously not really optimal for happy things. And so I was like, what? Looking at these things showing up. And I've trained myself. I don't go in. I don't watch the news or anything. But if something happens that looks like, oh no, why'd this happen? It's terrible or something. I don't buy into that. I look at it, and I was just looking at it with almost surprise, like, what are you doing in my world? And I was like, oh, okay. Well, the energies are shifting really fast, so I'm just going to watch it. Right. I took action, and I talked to people, and I got information, and then I felt so joyful, and I went out in my creative, joyful self and played on the beach and imagined happy things, and started watching gardening videos, and, just brought in the flow. And within like 2 days, everything started to shift, and I understood the reason for certain delays or shifts. And that's the way it is. And I remember that from a long time ago, reading Think and Grow Rich. He said, if you don't let, I don't know how he put it, but if you don't let something disappoint you, like I worked hard and it didn't happen or whatever, if you don't get consumed by that energetically, that's why it's like, oh no, it's not working. Why isn't it working? You're right there. There's something better right behind it. And this is like the businessman interviewing businessmen, tycoon millionaires a million years ago. What are your secrets of becoming rich? That was one of them. Don't get consumed by what you think isn't going right. And so I always go, oh, that's interesting. Ooh, what else is out there? There's something I'm not seeing. What just opened up? Yeah.
And that's what we have to ask ourselves, and I think there was something else you asked earlier, every day ask, okay, what message wants to show up today, or something like that, right? And be willing to receive that. And that part of that is about being in the flow, but it's also about being present in the moment, right? Being present in the moment and asking the universe to work with you and through you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It-
I absolutely think that there's one of the most important things everybody can do is to consciously be helping your senses awaken.
Mhm.
Right. So when you think, you have your five senses and then your sixth sense, and maybe you're aware of some other things that you can do sometimes or whatever. But we have 360 senses, and they're opening and being available now. So to me, I'm like, wonder what new thing is going to show up. And then sometimes I don't notice it. And
Mhm.
then I realize at the end of the day, when I'm looking back through the day and I'm unraveling the energy and I'm saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm mentally rehearsing things I didn't really like and saying, oh, I would like to do that differently next time. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay. And then I let it go. The immense gratitude of these bizarre things that show up that I never even imagined was a solution to something else in my life would be a part of what's happening over here. But that's being open and present. There's abundance. I mean, that is abundance.
Yeah.
It's just, it's stunning. It's just, we have to let go of the idea that it has to look the way we want it to look.
And that's the thing, abundance is everywhere, and the universe is supporting you every single moment. I mean, that's what I've been getting a lot recently. It's like the universe is supporting me all the time. And it's like, oh my God, it's like, wow. So it's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, say thank you, be grateful, and also look for the magic, look for the miracles, look for the abundance and acknowledge it when it shows up, because it's always showing up, but are you willing to see it, right? So are you
And
willing to
receive
it?
Yes. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Some people's energy fields become like Teflon,
Mhm.
non-stick cookware. I used to see that a lot when we were talking about people's money. They work really hard over here, but when it starts to come, it just slides off because they're afraid of receiving or being better
because
than
they've been
receiving.
hurt in the past, and so receiving is everything, right? So if
You might be criticized, you might be attacked, you might be outcast, you might be, because the past lives, the other lives that we experience oftentimes show us how many times that when we were successful or happy, somebody took it from us.
Mhm.
Right. And then often in not really pleasant ways.
Mhm.
And so those fears exist within us. But the cool thing is just get your head above the fear, the haze of fear on the planet. Don't judge that you're in it, because you're part of it. If you shift your energy, activate your light body every day, just say, I activate my light body at optimal speed for me at this time. Take a deep breath in, hold the intention, and send it out with the breath. Just do that, even if you don't know what in the hell you just said. And because you're giving the command, you're stepping back into being at the center of your creation, of your reality, and being the reality, being the creator by saying, I don't know what it is. There's no way for me to know what that means. The optimal vibration, and I can't find it and structure it. I just tell that part of me, recognize it, acknowledge it. Yeah. It's hard to love yourself when you come from what we've experienced and what we've been told, but the breakdown is letting go of all of the things that you thought you were.
Mhm.
So one of the juiciest things you can do for yourself right now is just peel away and shed all the ideas of who you were or thought you have to have, and keep finding them, and just become this like free flowing energy that's like, I wonder what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the other one. I wonder what messages are going to show up. I wonder what the universe has in store for me today. I wonder what's available to me now. I wonder what I'm willing to receive now, and so on.
When you're ready and willing, willingness is a state that's in the power states, and it's very close to acceptance. So when you say, I'm ready and willing, you don't even have to know how. You could be afraid of speaking up or whatever it is you're going to do. It doesn't matter. You just say, I'm ready and willing.
Mm-hmm.
Ready and willing to express myself in the optimal way at this time. I'm ready and willing to understand the career that's ready for me. I'm ready and willing to see the messages. I'm ready and willing to receive. Just receive. When you receive, Dr. Bach, talking about flower essences, Dr. Bach was a British doctor, and he lived in the countryside, and he wrote some books that were very interesting, I thought. And what he discovered as he was doing regular medicine was that the flowers each had a different energy, vibration, things that could help. And the underlying concept, and flower essences work really well with with emotional body, and for pets and animals and flowers and plants. But so if you transplant a plant, you can put a little bit of rescue remedy in the water. You can put it in your dog's bowl if they're stressed or you're leaving town, stuff like that. But also he said that you don't, goes along with what we understand now of energy, like, right? Don't fight with something, right? The more you resist, the more it persists, that idea.
Yeah.
So he said, you don't go, I hate being this way. Oh no, I'm this way. Why am I this way? Right? You just fill yourself up with what you want to be until, like a glass of water, the stuff you don't want overflows.
Absolutely.
That was his entire concept of healing. So
oh, beautiful. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, thank
That's
you.
a
I
feminine.
have one here. It's large, and I think I forget what it was for, but I bought it a month or two ago. Which I think it's self-confidence or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You should get some rescue remedy, huh?
I definitely should get some.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, everybody here, to be honest, we should all have some, but when you're going through a lot, take it, just, you can put 2 drops in a huge thing of water, right? And you don't have to take it. If you take it directly in your mouth, just 1 drop, but you could put it 1 drop in a glass of water or a bigger thing of water and drink it.
Yeah.
But you need this constant, gentle, soothing, loving.
Absolutely. I'm going to order some right after we get off this call. Good. Thank you. Because right now we're still in lockdown. Everything's closed, but Amazon, yay, is open.
Yay. Right? I know.
Oh, wonderful. That was amazing. Wonderful, wonderful show. Not just the readings, but the wisdom, the processes, so much in this call. I mean, this is definitely one that people should listen to more than once, because there's so much information and wisdom. I loved it. Thank you. And of course, your packages are awesome. They're, those should be the bundle plus the private session. I mean, yeah, very generous of you. Very kind. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm so glad I got to play, and I apologize again for the time zone difference, but I did get to bring the beach energy with us.
Yes, so. Thank you. We love the beach anytime. Bring the beach, bring the ocean, and bring the sun. We love it. So thank you. And thank you, Diane, for stepping in and giving those card readings. That was so much fun. And Donna Marie was here for a little bit, and so she gave Diana a reading, as well. So that was wonderful.
Thank you, ladies.
fun.
I love that. That feels like we were in a little goddess sanctuary, right? And everybody was sharing their beautiful wisdom. So
yeah,
wonderful.
It was beautiful. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. So grateful. All right, everyone. So thank you. Go back and watch or listen to this again, please. And until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Bye, Shama.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.